Phoenix Racing has announced limited capacity for their March 12th through 14th weekend, and it looks like a race team will be returning after not racing for the last couple years to the NASCAR Cup Series. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. We got quite a few NASCAR stories to discuss here today on the channel. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first story we're going to talk about is a sponsorship story. Is Spencer Boyd has revealed his 2021 Truck Series opener Daytona race sponsor and paint scheme were revealed last night, according to Toby Christie. And I have to say, I really do like this. The colors pop really, really well. And I think that this scheme will do very, very well. Hopefully, he can perform very well in 2021. But regardless, I really like the scheme. And I cannot wait to see this paint scheme out on the racetrack in 2021 at Daytona season opener. I don't remember what other sponsors he's going to have this year, but hopefully he'll have some really cool sponsors in 2021, some really cool paint schemes as well. On to the next story. Jill Gregory is going to become the Executive Vice President and GM of Sonoma International, replacing Steve Page in 2021. Now, I don't know if there's going to be really a race at Sonoma currently. I don't know, because Sonoma, there's speculation about California, if there's going to be racing or not in California in 2021. But regardless, Jill Gregory apparently is really, really good with the fans. A lot of people are really, really happy about this move. She was working in NASCAR, I think as a GOM or a COM. I don't know what that position is called, to be honest, but it's really cool that Jill Gregory is going to become the Executive Vice President and GM of Sonoma. It's going to be really cool to see what she can do in 2021 going forward. I don't know how long she's going to be with them going forward, but really, really cool to see if Jill Gregory is going to become the Executive Vice President and GM of Sonoma in 2021 and going forward. On to the next story. Kyle Sieg, younger brother of Ryan Sieg, will drive part-time for RSS Racing in the ARCA Series in 2021. I think Kyle Sieg is a pretty talented driver. I think he's put up some really strong performances in ARCA. He ran a very limited schedule. I don't remember how many races he ran, but he actually scored in his first start in the ARCA Series, a top 10 at Lucas Oil Raceway in his first ever start. So that was really impressive to see, and I didn't really watch ARCA as much this year. But to get a top 10 in your first start, in your first ever start in ARCA, that is really impressive. And hopefully in 2021, regardless of how long the schedule is, again, they haven't announced what the schedule is going to be for him in 2021, but he will run a select few races in the 2021 ARCA season. Again, the competition in ARCA isn't very strong. There's possibility Michael Self is not even going to be returning to ARCA this year. We know that Haley Deegan's going up. Brett Holmes, we don't know much about him. We've heard rumors that he may be going up the trucks in 2021. So the competition level in ARCA isn't going to be that strong. Again, ARCA Series has not been very strong over the last couple of years, but hopefully Kyle Sieg in 2020, we can put up some really strong performances. And what are my expectations overall? Just get experience, learn the best you can, even though ARCA is not, you don't learn that much in ARCA. Hopefully going to learn a little bit, especially on a bigger track. So hopefully Kyle Sieg can put together some very strong performances in the 2021 NASCAR ARCA racing season. On to the next story. Darren Grubb has joined Chip Ganassi Racing as Director of Performance, reporting to manager Tony Lunders in 2021. A little bit of a backstory on Darren Grubb. Darren Grubb, actually, for those of you who don't know, was the winning crew chief when Jimmy Johnson won the 2006 Daytona 500, when Chad Canal suspended, I believe, for the first 4 races, was suspended, and he won the race at Daytona, the Daytona 500, and he also won the race at Las Vegas as well. In 2009, he became the crew chief for Tony Stewart, and even though they won the championship in 2011, he was fired from that team in 2011 and went to work with Denny Hamlin in 2012, and Denny Hamlin had one of his arguably best years as a younger driver, but he was let go, I think, after 2014, and then he went to work, I think, with Carl Edwards, if I'm not mistaken, I think in 2015, but I can't truly remember, and then in 2018, he was moved up to actually halfway through 2017. He became the crew chief for Casey Kane at later stages of 2017 after Casey Kane was having a bad year. And then 2018, he ended up becoming the crew chief for William Byron in the 2018 season. But then he was and moved to the director of performance, and I think it was competition director for Hendrick in 2019. And then he was let go after 2020, and now he officially becomes the director of performance in 2021. I really don't know how to feel about this move. I think Darren Grubb has had a pretty good career resume for himself. Again, there's some people that do like him, and some people don't like him. I don't know for sure if this was the reason why William Byron in his rookie year struggled. I don't know if he was truly the reason, or if Byron's inexperience really came into play. But regardless, hopefully Darren Grubb can do well with them in 2020. Hopefully he puts together a good year. Hopefully, he can help the performance of Chip Ganassi, because Chip Ganassi over the last couple years, especially after Larson left in 2020, yeah, Kurt Busch is pretty consistent, but he even had a little bit of a down year in 2020. Yes, he did win a race, but he did have a little bit of a down year at points in 2020, though he did make the round of 8, which that kind of helped. But then the 42 car, man, after Larson had his issues when Kenseth was in the car, Kenseth was just all over the place. That 42 car completely struggled in 2020. So hopefully he can go back there and help Chip Ganassi Racing perform, because they're not the best team overall, if we're going to be honest. But hopefully in 2021 he can go out there and basically be a direct performance and help that team become better in 2021 NASCAR Cup Series season. And now we're on the first of two major stories of this episode. As Phoenix International Speedway has announced limited capacity for the March 12th and 14th through the March 12th and 14th weekend. Each race will have 20% capacity, so 8,400 plants plus tables in the infield fan zone. Now, the hillside is going to be available, but you will not be able to go on pit road and have infield access in 2021, except the tables in the infield zone if you are able to get tickets. I am anticipating many of the early stages of races to have very limited capacity because, yes, the vaccine is currently being rolled out at the moment as we speak, but also at the same time, there is possibility that we can still see a resurgence of COVID-19, so you still have those concerns going forward early in 2021. Like I said, though, I do anticipate many of the Cup Series races early in the year to have limited capacity. We know that both Daytona races, Daytona road course weekends, they haven't given the exact number for those races, but I would be shocked if it's 20 to 25% for those. I know that they're looking at maybe 50% as well, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's 20 to 25% because they're looking at the Super Bowl to determine how many fans they're going to have. And then you have to look at Homestead. Homestead's already announced themselves as well that they're also going to have limited capacity in 2021. Now we know that Phoenix is confirmed. We don't know much about Vegas. We don't know if they're going to have fans or not. Las Vegas is very strict. We know that we didn't have fans last time at the last Cup race when Kurt Busch won. So I'm very intrigued to see how many fans are going to be allowed at Vegas, if any fans are going to be allowed at Vegas. I do think by the end of 2021, hopefully, I do think by the end of this year, we'll have a sellout crowd for the championship race. And maybe by the time we get to the playoffs, we'll have fans back in the stands. The vaccinations are being rolled out at the moment. But I do anticipate early in this year, especially for the first half of the year, I don't expect any full capacity races. It's just going to be about how quick things get back to normal and how quick fans are going to be allowed back out of the racetracks. That really is going to be the determination of how quick. But regardless, I am not surprised. I think it's a good decision that they're making a decision early. Arizona is one of those states that is very blunt on trying to get back, same with Tennessee. So those areas might see a lot more fans. And also South Carolina, like Darlington, they're probably going to be really quick. And they may have a lot more fans at their races compared to other races as well. So like I said, that is something we're going to have to watch going forward in 2021 and how quick fans are going to be allowed. But like I said, I do anticipate a lot of the early stages of the season to have limited fans in 2021. We'll have to watch throughout the year, but there will be limited fans for a lot of the early races in 2021. And now we're going to get on the final story of this episode, as we've got a team announcement. So apparently, remember that New York racing team that tried to race in 2018, but Rob Kaufman got really pissed off at them? Yeah, apparently they are coming back in 2021. So according to Jonathan Cohen, who owns the organization, they are planning on racing full-time in 2021, including attempting to make this year's Daytona 500. Now, they are going to be an open team in 2021, so they will not have a charter in the 2021 season. Now, a driver and sponsor have not been announced. They are looking at announcing that at a later date as they're looking for sponsorship, and they are looking for a driver in 2021. But this team is looking at coming back to the NASCAR Cup Series in 2021. To give you a little bit of backstory around this team actually used to be called Team Extreme Motorsports, and they actually raced in the NASCAR Cup Series around the 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015 years. And then they were out of NASCAR again at the end of 2015. And they tried to make a return in 2018 at the Coca-Cola 600 2018. Actually made one start with the 7 car that J.J. Yeley drove with the Chevy in 2018. But they were not very happy, and especially Rob Kaufman and the Driver Association was not very happy to see that team around. So they did not make much of a start. And then over the last couple months, they were being rumored to be coming back. On December 2nd, 2020, on their story, they showed a number 44 car on the story, and speculation began around this team. And then about 2 or 3 nights ago, well, actually, technically, last night, as a matter of fact, they put on their story of an image of, them coming back in 2021 with the number 44 car, and speculation stated that Johnny Sauter was going to be the driver of this 44 car in 2021. Now, from what I've heard is that Johnny Sauter is currently not the driver that they are looking at in 2021. Apparently, from what we've heard and some what people have said, it doesn't look like Johnny Sauter is going to be the driver. So the speculation begins around this organization. But let's also talk about the Daytona 500 entry list a little bit as well. With this team looking to have announcements regarding drivers and them looking at racing in 2021, I believe currently at this moment, we have 35 or 36, even 37 confirmed entries up to this point, all the full-time teams. Now, teams that have not currently confirmed for 2021 up to this point. The other Penske car, and probably the one that Austin is going to run, that team has not been confirmed yet, but I do anticipate that. The 32 team, the Go Fast Racing organization, I'm anticipating that's going to be Ryan Ellis, but I really don't know currently at this moment who that is going to end up being. You have to think about all 4 Rick Ware racing cars, and apparently one of those is going to be an uncharted car, so you'll have another car qualifying right there. Tommy Baldwin Racing, Gaunt Brothers Racing, Colleague Racing. There's going to be a lot of teams that we really don't know about drivers at the moment, but I anticipate that there could be up to 46, even maybe generously 47 cars this year could race in this year's Daytona 500. You have to also think about the money team as well, though there is a possibility that they may end up taking partnership with that 77 car, that they could also work with Spire and get the 50 car up running as well. There's also a possibility JTG Doherty may now have a charter, though. I'm anticipating one of those Rico racing cars to have it. So now the speculation begins around this new organization. Who could end up driving this car? What about Ty Dillon? We haven't really heard much about Ty Dillon this offseason, and we really not heard much about this New York racing team. Yes, there are 4, but if Ty Dillon was truly going to be signing with British Choice Racing Xfinity, they would have signed him by now. They would have announced it by now. So there's a possibility that maybe this is where Ty Dillon could go in 2021. What about someone like a Regan Smith comes out of time? I really don't know. Speculation. Maybe like J.J. Ely drives him. J.J. Ely drove for them the last time they raced, and there's a possibility that they could, he could race for the team. There's possibly also J.J. Ely could run for any organization, including Spire Motorsports and that other car in 2021. What about Jeffrey Earnhardt? Maybe Jeff Earnhardt takes one of the rides. I really don't know at this point. Maybe Brennan Poole goes there. I really don't know. But I think that the speculation is going to continue to fly for this organization. We're going to have to really watch what this team announces. I really don't have any indication. This is very, very shocking. We're really excited to hear that there's new teams. But again, they're going to be an open team, so they're not going to have that much money. But again, they're going to be funded by the Empire State Building is who's going to be funding Jonathan Gohan and his racing team in 2021. We're going to have to watch it happen, but I cannot wait to see what they will announce in 2021 and what they're going to announce here very, very shortly. And I don't remember when the date for all the entries to get in. I think it's like a week or 2 before the Daytona 500. So probably have about a month for teams to announce their entry going into 2021 for Daytona 500. So anyway, that is going to be for today's NASCAR news video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, notifications so you get notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links in the description below, and also support me on Patreon as well. Links are in the description below for that. And comment your thoughts on today's video. What are your thoughts about the New York racing team? Do you think that they will actually show up at Daytona, or do you think that this is just a fake gimmick like the money team? Let me know in the comments below. And what are your thoughts about, the limited capacity Phoenix? And when do you think that we will see full capacity for NASCAR Cup Series races or any of the NASCAR series in 2021? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you do like it so YouTube can recommend more of these great videos. If you do that, I greatly appreciate it. Anyway, once again, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.